I am Linda Ngari, welcoming our viewers from Kenya and around the world. This is Global Glance, giving you an in-depth glance at what is making headlines around the world. With the help of our various experts, we look at matters arts and culture, as well as politics. Welcome. Now, the Slovakian journalist by the name Jan Kuciak and his fiancée were murdered while he was investigating a story that involved high-ranking Italian government officials and their links to an Italian crime group by the name the 'Ndrangheta. The Guardian reports that tens of thousands of Slovaks took to the streets to protest against this particular act. After being exposed for harvesting millions of Facebook users' private data, the Cambridge Analytica political consulting firm has now closed operations and is dissolved under a data firm by the name Emerdata Limited. And now onto a story of the day. H&M, the multinational clothing retail company, has been under scrutiny and bad light lately for having put a 5-year model boy in a sweatshirt written "Coolest Monkey in the Jungle." And this was not just any other boy, but a black boy. It has brought about a lot of reactions as South Africans took to protest and vandalize the H&M stores in South Africa, calling the particular action of putting a black model boy in a sweatshirt written "Coolest Monkey in the Jungle" as racist.
It's clear. We want him to explain right here, right now. Why did they call us monkeys as black people in our good country?
With the help of our various experts, we will be having a model who will help us understand how they get to be on the runway in a particular outfit. We also have a designer who will help us understand why they arrive at a decision of putting a model in a particular outfit, as well as a modeling agent, the people who call the shots in modeling agencies. Remember, you can chime into the conversation. Our Twitter handle is @GlobalGlance. Now, the modeling industry in Kenya was all glitz and glam up until it took the courage of one Sheila Kanini to call it out as it is. The former Miss World Kenya 2016 took to the hashtag #PayModelsKE and brought out the bitter truths in the modeling industry in Kenya, where matters such as extortion and what has come to be called sexploitation were revealed as issues inside the modeling industry that models have to go through. Here are some of the sentiments under the hashtag #PayModelsKE. In breaking the silence on models' oppressions, Sheila Kanini posted, "Models get mistreated a lot, and people feel because we have a job that millions of girls would kill for, we should be happy with what we're going through, even if it has a dark and sadistic side to it. It has gotten to a point where it's hard to justify your own complaints. Of course, when it all comes down to it, we would never speak up about anything because of the risk of losing future jobs. I'm ready to lose it all if that's what it will take," she says. At the trend setter said the modeling industry in Kenya is a rot and a disgusting platform where agencies take advantage of young, naive girls. Thank you at Sheila Kanini for speaking out. At the Binti Pretty says, "I've also personally been exploited before in the name of earning some shmoney for myself. But nowadays I say no to modeling gigs." Sharon Mashira saying, #PayModelsKE, there's a new wave of women speaking up about matters that have previously been stifled and muted, from sexual exploitation to financial exploitation. And on the same note, our correspondent Masi Mumo sought to find out how the modeling industry is from the inside out.
Models have to be tall, good looking, dark. Yeah.
People consider models as people who, as in they are so poor in their books that there's nothing else they can do, just use their body in marketing themselves.
Those are just but a few ways that the models are often stereotyped. This is, however, not so far apart from the daily struggles of a model in the Kenyan setting. Adrian Monteyan, a model who comes from the conservative Maasai community, has had to defend a passion for modeling right from home.
Explaining to someone that you're a model, they don't see that as something good. As in, it's not like saying you're a medicine student or you are a teacher, they don't give credit to models.
That notwithstanding, Adrian, whose stage name is Shaviva Leti, also gets caught up on societal stereotypes.
When you tell people you're a model, they immediately think that you are, how can I put it, maybe a prostitute or something like that. Yeah, they think that models are just there for men. So that has been a challenge, because for you to earn respect in the industry as a well-known model, people have to scrutinize you, people have to judge you.
Exploitation, extortion, and sexual abuse are some of the vices that got revealed about modeling industry in Kenya. This was under the hashtag #PayModelsKE, and Adrian is no exemption.
And the problem is they usually don't see that as something that paying a model, they see that's the least of their problem. When they offer transport and food, that's all they can. And you are sacrificing your time, your face, or your body, or anything, because as a model, that's what you're selling. So you're not profiting from anything out of that. And that's why there was that hashtag pay models, because in Kenya they're not really embraced the whole model thing as a professional, as a career. Yeah, that's also a big problem. Like, I've had a friend who's ever asked me to be in their video, and then they take it as it's a favor. It's not that I'm working. I've had a friend, she had gone for a photo shoot. Then when she went for the photo shoot, it was, how can I say, it's an exclusive personal photo shoot. And she ended up being raped by the photographer. And she tried to report, and there's nothing that was done about it. Also, when I was modeling, when I was trying a pageant, I've also had people telling me, if you want the fastest route, if you know what you're supposed to do, you scratch my back, I scratch your back, and you'll get the crown.
Well, just like any other career, modeling requires proper schooling and mentorship. This happens, but not so much in Kenya, as Miss Pamela Oriedo affirms.
Modeling is one very good career, but being in Africa, especially Kenyans, we have not really focused so much about it. Even in our schools, we don't really know much about modeling. But in my own opinion, I believe it's a very good cause. One, because we even have beautiful girls in Africa who can do the modeling. They actually suit and they fit the modeling qualifications which they are needed, like slim body and the dark skin. Look at the likes of Alec Wek, the Sudanese girl, who one time, I think she's riding very high when it comes to modeling. And I believe it's a good cause. And I would actually urge the education system to consider it as one of the causes to be seriously taken into consideration.
It is nevertheless not all a bitter experience, as Adrian has had her fair share of good times at it.
I tried Miss Universe, the crown for 2016-2017. It was my first time ever modeling. Yeah, I tried. I made it to the finalist, the main finalist. So I love everything about modeling because that's the only way I can express myself.
And what she would say to the haters?
So I have to do assignments. I also have to do all the work. I have to rest. I don't have time to rest. And then when I go to work, someone calls me a prostitute. You think you'd feel good, and you know you really work hard for your money. I will work hard for that money. I'll get the money. I'll go pimp myself. I'll go buy shoes. I'll buy the things that I love. I'll go make my nails. I'll go do anything. And then at the end of it all, they say I have sponsors that do all those things for me. You see, we also struggle, just like a normal person who will wake up, go to work, wake up early, go to work, not have enough sleep just to make ends meet.
If you happen to be one of these people who always have something negative to say when it comes to models, don't judge their path if you haven't walked their journey. Reporting for Global Glance, I am Masimomo.
Thank you so much, Mercy, for that comprehensive feature. But I'd just like to know, from your own point of view, do you think modeling as an industry or a job in Kenya gets as much credit as it deserves?
I think that the modeling industry in Kenya is not well appreciated. Some people have to go through a lot of process so that they can get what they have worked hard for, especially when it comes to payment. Maybe you have to do something extra so that you can get the money that you're supposed to get, and that is rightfully yours. So I don't think that model in Kenya is really appreciated compared to other countries.
Okay, thank you. Now let's get back to what people are saying on Twitter. Remember, you can talk to us. Our Twitter handle is @GlobalGlance. At T_Gadhoni saying, knowing Kenyans, Amal and Kanini might pay the ultimate price of not ever getting a gig, God forbid, but the impact they've made today is admirable. In every revolution, there must be casualties, and they've offered themselves as sacrificial lambs. God bless their hard work. This is Global Glance, giving an in-depth look at what's making headlines all across the globe with me, Linda Ngari. So our story of the day today was based on H&M, the multinational retailing company that was in bad light, has been in bad light for having put a 5-year black model boy in a sweatshirt that read "coolest monkey in the jungle." So people have been taking this as an act of racism, and as promised earlier, we will be having various experts coming to join us and help us understand what exactly happens. Is the model part of the decision making in what they get to put on the runway, the designer as well as a modeling agency? However, according to the boy's mother, whatever this kid was wearing was not particularly wrong, because the child, according to the mom, has been doing this kind of thing for a very long time. And this is what she had to respond to what people were saying on Twitter. Ngari Mango said, "I'm the mom and this is one of the hundreds of outfits my son has modeled. Stop crying wolf all the time. Unnecessary issue." Now, model Maureen Jiru, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Linda.
So do you find anything wrong with the H&M story?
Yeah, I do find something wrong because, first of all, he's a 5-year-old, very young. He doesn't know much about the model, you see. Mm-hmm. So everything that he's putting on, he's being forced to put on. But you see those agents, they make him put on that outfit, and he doesn't know what he's doing, because for him, it's just modeling. And that's when I found it on internet, like it was trending. I found that as it was exploitation, because it was showing me it's like racism.
And is it a common thing in the modeling industry to just be handed whatever other people want you to put on and just put it on as it is?
This is what happens.
Mm-hmm.
When you go backstage,
Mm-hmm.
the designer comes, he tells you, like, I like her body type and she can fit in this outfit, and because this is your work, you have to put on that outfit, and it's a must.
So does that mean that models are basically objects?
About that, at some point, that's what we're showing the world.
Uh-huh.
Not all agency, but that's what we're showing the people out there, that models are used as objects, because sometimes we are forced to do things that we don't want, and we have to do them because this is our career. And most models, they focus on modeling because that's their career. So they have to do these things. They have to be forced to put on that outfit. They have to be forced to do some advert and all that, which they don't, because it is something that they're working to get some extra cash.
And now coming back home to the hashtag #PayModelsKE and the agents who are so much in the bad light, what do you think the agents in Kenya are doing wrong?
The agents in Kenya, what they're doing wrong is the fact that, first of all, let me repeat it again, they don't pay us. They get a good deal from an international, especially these big agencies, you know them, Akina Surazuri, sorry. Yeah, they don't get to pay us, you know. They get a very good deal, like, I like that model, can she come and do this commercial advert? Then they get that money, and they cut off a lot of money, and then what the model gets is a little money that you've done a very good job, but then you're getting a little money.
Speaking of agents, Kabatila Kavat, agent of the Cav Art Modeling Agency, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Linda. So I find something wrong, ethnically, and in terms of it defining Africa. the term monkey is referred to as something from Africa. So for me, it's something insulting even to the whole of Africa.
And what do you have to say about the mother not really siding with what people are talking about on Twitter, not seeing the racist side to this story?
The mother, first of all, she's so naive about matters that concern a continent like Africa. And for her, it's just about making money through her kid. That's why her kid has been doing all this stuff and she's happy about it because it's all about the income.
And now coming back home to #PayModelsKE, you're an agent, and agents happened to have been the people behind the rot in the modeling industry. What do you make of that?
People get exploited a lot by these agencies because we boil down to human nature. Each and every human is selfish, so you find that big deals are coming in and what they're giving the models doesn't quantify to what they're doing. But in my agency, that's why we have a contract. I try and bridge that gap between me and the person who's offering the work and the model. So we sit in the table together. So they'll know this is their cut, this is my cut.
Joining us is modeling designer Fernandez Toyas. Thank you so much for joining us. And you are so far the only person who does not find the H&M story racist.
Well, I have no problem, and I don't think there's any problem with the boy wearing that t-shirt, because this boy has been doing this modeling stuff for long, and he has done other concepts apart from that. So I feel like he's pursuing his passion, and what matters is what makes him happy. It's not about people, it's not about the stereotype on Africans and all that, so yeah.
So the designer, what part do they play in dressing a model?
The designer suggests what a model wears. Let me correct that. Because as a designer, once you design something, you have to take it to the top management. They have to decide, is this outfit okay for what we're trying to portray?
And if you so happened to be an agent yourself, what would you do differently?
So if I was going to open an agency today, I would actually I would go outside the streets and scout for models. And I will not give them difficult conditions because I've been there. I know how it is, and I know how it is to want something and not to get it.
Thank you so much for your time. And now on to our social media feedback.
At F1HR11 saying, I give props to the H&M model's mother for taking a stand against the outrage. Get over it is some good advice I feel we all need. Tete saying that mom has no integrity. You see nothing wrong with your son wearing a monkey shirt and H&M mocking him. At Hiki saying the image on the H&M ad had to go through so many people, from the mother of the model giving consent to the editor of the ad. Either no one brought up why the image was problematic, or no one cared enough to change the model or sweatshirt, and either way, it's not okay.
Here's what I think, dear fellow black community. With all due respect, #time's up. Time's up for us to play the victim. Time's up for us to always be ready to pull out the racist card just so we can get maybe favors or argue out our point. For example, was the Nivea ad that said white is purity. That again was trolled because it was said to be racially insensitive. I mean, purity and white kind of go hand in hand, and it has nothing to do with the black or white man. Black. So my take is that we should snap out of it. I mean, the boy's mother herself did not find anything wrong with it. That was Global Glance today. My name is Ngari.